Voice Your Place Slatina is an audio guide narrated by teenagers about the built heritage of their town. Thank you for visiting our city and listening to our audio guide.
Welcome to the former Victoria Cinema. The interwar period brought unprecedented prosperity to Romania. Following the First World War, the Kingdom of Romania, which had until then consisted of Valahia, Moldova and Dobroja, received Transylvania, Banat, Bucovina and Basarabia, causing it to have the largest territory ever. In addition, after the global trauma of the First World War, the following decades were marked by exuberance and vitality and people wanting to enjoy life. As a result, there was an explosion of venues for entertainment: music halls, ballrooms, spaces for theatrical performances, and movie screenings. The former Victoria Cinema was built in 1933 as the club of the non-commissioned officers of the 3rd Dorobanți Regiment, but the building was designed from the start as a space for theatrical performances and movie screenings. Due to its strategic geographic position as a crossing point over the River Olt, connecting the historical regions of Muntenia and Oltenia, military barracks were established in Slatina in 1868 during the reign of King Carol I. The regiment distinguished itself in the War of Independence against the Ottoman Empire in 1877-1878, then in the First World War from 1916 to 1918. Ekaterina Teodoroiu also belonged to this regiment. The veterans of the First World War, 49 officers and 594 non-commissioned officers and soldiers, commanded, financed and built the club in the interwar period. The edifice hosted meetings, theatrical performances and movie screenings, and was one of the 2 places in Slatina where people could watch movies. The other one was Nicolae Cosmas Hotel, on the other side of the park from the old county museum.
At first, the building showed silent movies. Then, as cinema advanced, it switched to movies with sound. Because the type of film used at the time posed the risk of heating up and catching fire, the projectionist room had a floor made of fire-resistant material and a separate exit leading directly outside. Although projection techniques have changed since, the room still exists, a testament to the history of cinema. In 1948, when the newly installed communist regime nationalized our property, the club was converted into a cinema. It was initially called Cinema Select, then Cinema Victoria, a reference to the phrase, the victory of socialism.
The building stands out for its tower, making it a landmark of Lipscani Street. The decoration of the facade mixes classical elements from the Greek and Roman antiquity, such as columns, balusters, and decorative urns, with neo-Romanian elements, such as the carved vegetation friezes, and even modernist elements, such as the round porthole window.
The building operated as a movie theater for nearly 60 years, until the 90s. In 2010, it became town hall property. It was restored with funding from the Norwegian government in 2016.
This text was narrated by
Sara Aflagea
and by
Alexandra Pojoga.
The story begins on a spring evening in the 60s, when the damp sidewalks reflected the lights of street lamps and people crowded outside the entrance, waiting to see the latest productions from Bucharest.
We saw each other every day, and I felt like I was really getting to know her. We always met at the cinema.
So, I'm special to you. The record player stops. He gently moves closer to her until their foreheads touch. The projection screen goes dark. I get up distracted from my seat and walk out of the cinema on Lipscan Street.
You've been listening to short extracts from our stories written during the creative writing workshop. The buildings that you have visited have a special meaning for us. The stories speak about us and our connection to these places. If you're curious about them, we invite you to read them in full on our website. The audio guide was recorded by teenagers during the Voice Your Place Slatina 2025 workshops.